Today we're going to be talking about V-mount batteries. If you do a lot of work outdoors, you probably know that the first thing on your checklist that you got to make sure you load your truck with is a bunch of V-mount batteries, especially if you have several lights, especially those 2x1 panels, which I have several of them, and they require at least 2 of these monster V-mount batteries because they are very high power units, 200 watts, 400 watts. So this batteries here, they are heavy and everything, but this is designed to be powering something that requires a lot of power like this, but not necessarily good for your camera rig, because the more weight that you add in your rig, the more fatigue you're going to feel at the end of the day, actually even before the end of the day. So in the past here, not too long ago, I have reviewed the Watson line of V-mount batteries here. As you can see, compared to the standard V-mount batteries, they designed this V-mount batteries very tall and very bulky. This one is bulky too, but look at the size of the battery, and it's slightly lighter than this batteries here, and they're very close to the same amount of watt hours. This is a 200 watt hour battery, and this one here is a 150 watt battery, but they feel a lot lighter and they last as long as this battery here. And of course they also make a lighter battery, also slightly less power. This is a 98 watt battery, which is plenty of current and juice to power your rig through your monitors or whatever that is, but you have to install plates. They have multiple voltages and everything. So I'm actually very happy to see that there's always something else to invent and to improve on these batteries. And I'm sure most of you guys know about these micro V-mount batteries here, and today is exactly what we're going to be taking a look at. This is the Watson micro V-mount series. This is the VM-50-MI batteries, which still very small, very light, and still packs a lot of punch. This particular model here, the VM-50-MI, is a 50 watt hour battery, and it can power literally anything that draws 8 amps of current and below. Just to give you an idea what 8 amp means, I have a Luxley Tyco, which is a monster 2x1 LED light, which draws about 3 some amps as far as I remember. It's not even close to even 4 amps. So this battery here is capable of powering anything that draws 8 amps and below, just to give you an idea how powerful this thing is here. And this 50 watt battery here can also outperform a lot of 98 watt batteries that I've seen on a standard V-mount battery. The first time I was taking a look at the B&H website, looking at this micro V-mount batteries here, the first thing that came in my mind is because the V-mount slots here, I thought this thing was going to be proprietary, everything as mini as this battery is. So do I need an extra adapter just to actually slide the battery on my existing V-mount slots on the back of my lights and cameras and everything? Actually, no, because this is the same exact size. This is a non-proprietary thing. So whatever it is that you do with this battery, you can actually power or slide the battery on your existing lights, so don't worry about that. It's the same exact thing. Not only the V-mount little plate here, this is the same exact way this batteries work. It's the same regular ports that you see on the bottom here. It works the same exact way. Features the same D-tap, the raw power, right, coming from the whatever you get from here. That's the same voltage that you get out of your usual D-tap batteries. So technology with these batteries, they get better and better. As you can see now, they have the battery reduced to this size and extremely lightweight. So if this were a 50 watt an hour battery, this actually would outperform these batteries here. So what else makes a micro V-mount battery so special? Actually the top here with all the ports here. For example, you have a regular USB that you can charge your phone or anything 5 volts related. The micro USB is for input to charge this battery. You can actually charge this battery through the regular way using these ports here. You can also charge the battery via the D-tap, and in case you don't have your charger with you and you are in an emergency situation, you can even charge through the USB micro port here. It's gonna take a little while to charge the battery, but at least you got a third option to charge this battery. Now the coolest and most important thing on this battery here, in my opinion, is the USB-C, which not only calculates and delivers the right voltage and calculates also the amperage that your device that you're charging here needs, from a monitor all the way to a MacBook Pro laptop. So you can charge a bunch of things here as long as they support the USB-C charge. So these ports here vary between USB-C 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volt 3 amps, 12 volt 3 amps, 15 volts 3 amp, and also all the way to 20 volts 2.5 amps, which is powering high power devices such as a laptop and everything. I want to show you guys something that I absolutely love regarding this high load Cine V-mount batteries that Watson makes, that I never seen any other battery do what it does. So when the battery is disconnected, it's no big deal or no surprise. You press the power button here, you have the remaining charging status of the battery. Good, same exact thing with this here. You press the power button, you have your juice level here, but they go away in a few seconds, right? This battery here, as soon as you slide this on the back of your light or on your back of the camera, this is going to be on all the time, especially charging or using the battery. This will never go out. So this battery here has a gorgeous OLED display with all that information here, but as you can see, the light and the display is going to go out in a few seconds, probably 8 or 10 seconds, and then you have to keep pressing this here. That's including doing charging, because when you charge these batteries here, these lights, they remain on during the whole charging process. This battery here, but this is not a Watson battery, something that they messed up. Every other brand that I've seen, for some reason, this display, they go out in a few seconds, and even during charging, even the LED status here, this little dots, they disappear. I am hoping that there is a way to do a firmware upgrade in case they decide to improve this a little better, just by using the micro USB, as you the same way you update most things via computer and software, right? So if they can actually hold this indefinitely, because I don't think this little display here is gonna draw any significant, even the tiniest milliamps here. So I want to see this thing on all day long as soon as I use this on the back of my lights or the camera, because the way it is here, you have to press this thing here, and you might even shake in the camera. You're doing an interview, if you press this button here, the camera might shake a little bit. So I don't like the idea that this goes out so early and I have to keep pressing this button here. So now, by adding a micro V-mount battery into your V-mount arsenal, it doesn't mean that these batteries here, they're now old and obsolete and you gotta throw them away. No, each particular need and application, they belong to a particular criteria. For example, if I want to power my 400, 600 watt light panels, of course I'm gonna be using a heavy battery like this because it has the stamina to power those lights. So the main use for these micro V-mount batteries is when you power your camera, your rig, especially if you want to do handheld stuff, the less weight that you add the battery, because at the end of the day you're going to feel less fatigued. So the main reason of this battery that you should actually add to your collection is not only the lightweight and the size of the battery, is because the sports here that you don't need any adapter. For example, this battery here only features a D-tap. You can actually fry your monitor by outputting the raw power, the same power that comes out of here. So you don't want to do that. So this particular one here, the solution is to add more bulk and weight to your rig and make the things more even bulky, right? So you need a plate here with the 12 volt, 7.4 volts here. So this battery here, all you need is the battery itself. You slide this thing on the back of your camera here, and then you open this tab here. You can power several things, monitor, whatever you have in that rig, because you can use the USB here and also the USB-C, for example. So this is gonna allow you to shoot a lot longer before you decide to actually stop for a break and then put your camera on the ground. So if this little thing here is not already the coolest and most versatile thing that ever happened to the V-mount system, look at all these accessories here that you can actually add to your micro V-mount battery collection. Let me start with this device here. All you gotta do is slide these two batteries in here, but since this is a micro V-mount system here, the best way to fit this battery instead of several tries, if you raise the battery as high as you can and then you actually lower, and then it's gonna lock, because if you try to mount this thing in the middle here, you're gonna be attempting several times. When you raise pretty high, it's gonna be fitting very easily here, just so you know. Now, you just made this thing into a 100 watt battery, adding these two 50 watt hour batteries. So this device here features the tap on top, one on the side here, the left side, and also another D-tap on the right side. Also, in addition to the existing D-tap ports that you have in the batteries here, so you can actually power 5 devices using all these D-taps here. Not to mention, for example, when you're camping or somehow you can't bring your massive amount of battery chargers, you can actually use this as a charger. Any of these taps here that you plug your D-tap charger is going to work, and it's going to charge this battery simultaneously instead of, because how would you charge one battery with one D-tap charger unless you have a dual D-tap charger, but you follow what I'm saying. Same thing with these batteries alone. This adapter also supports 8 amp current draw from any other device that you want to power this on. This adapter here is going to actually draw both of these batteries simultaneously, but it's still hot swappable. Let's say that somehow one battery is weaker than the other one, you can actually eject one, which, by the way, instead of ejecting the battery like this, you can just press this button here and then just push your thumb this way. and then it's the most gentle way to eject this battery, so you don't risk of dropping the battery on the floor, because it will happen sometimes because these things are small. And that's the adapter right here. But they also make another one like this, very similar but slightly different, because for example, when I'm filming, I like my camera to record in 2 cards simultaneously, while other people, they prefer the relay mode, which is first one card gets filled and the other one starts being written later. So this one here, as I mentioned before, is gonna discharge 2 batteries at the same time. So the other adapter that looks almost like this one here, but it features a UPS system, what that does is, instead of drawing power simultaneously like this one here does, the other one you can actually insert 2 micro V-mount batteries here. It's gonna only draw power from one at a time. You're gonna be able to see here which one is the active battery, and the other one also features a hot swap, even though it's using 1 battery at a time. So when this battery here is dying, this one here remains full, ready to be used next. So you can actually remove this one here. It's gonna temporarily use a little bit of this one until you put a battery back here, and then the whole cycle begins again. And the one with the UPS capability has the same features as this one, which is the non-UPS one. Features the 3D tap ports in here, the same V-mount slots on the bottom here, same V-mount mount, and also 8 amp support. And of course, besides using this for professional applications, you can actually bring a few of these micro V-mount with you for recreational purposes, such as camping or airplane travel. I was watching on YouTube from other manufacturers that also make this micro V-mount batteries. Don't quote on me 100%, this is something that I heard on YouTube. The only thing that I know, that TSA approves any battery 98 watt-hour and under, but I didn't know how many of these you can actually take. So this guy was saying that on this type of size here, you can actually 98 watt an hour. Imagine the 50 ones, right? You can actually bring as many as 14 of these batteries on an airplane, which is pretty dope. As far as mounting or hanging this battery here, I guess they thought of everything. See, the top here even allows you to hook up a little lanyard string here in case you want to walk around charging a phone. I don't know if you're going to be looking at school as I do, right, with my phone and with the battery. So everybody looking at me, wow, he's got a micro V-mount battery. Wow, I'm so jealous. But anyway, so you can actually attach this here. Now, this is in case you don't know this particular thing here. This is actually a belt clip, which you simply slide the battery right here and you mount on your belt or in your pants here. So this is very useful. For example, my wife has a Canon M50, which you can actually use the USB-A port in this case to power the M50 with a dummy battery with a voltage regulator cable that you can buy an additional purchase with the M50, because those M50 batteries, you shoot for half an hour and then the battery dies. So once she's like filming somewhere on the go, leave this thing completely out of the way, a little cable running here. She can actually hand hold the camera with both hands, and anything else that you want to power while you're walking around. So you can actually use this belt clip. When the battery dies, just change the battery, put another one here. You keep shooting all day long. And of course, I almost forgot, it includes a D-tap on the side here. Next here is the micro V-mount to Sony NPF battery adapter. This will be the most convenient thing to use, especially if you're using those portable lights that usually take the Sony NPF batteries. But sometimes you want to shoot over an hour or so and this battery will probably die. This is when this comes very handy, because you can actually slap a V-mount battery here. As a matter of fact, even a large V-mount battery here. You can actually put a monster V-mount battery here with this, which is the same 16 point some voltage. Now keep in mind that this outputs unregulated voltage. This one here has a sticker that says output 14.4 volts. I actually found using my multimeter, this is actually outputting 16 some volts, especially when the battery is like fully charged, which is the same exact voltage that you see outputting from this ports here or also from the D-tap. Even though this is an awesome convenience to make our Sony NPF devices last longer, the reason why they made this thing not stick out so much, this is similar size to a Sony NPF 570 instead of the 970 that sticks out this far, or even the other ones that is even deeper, right? Here's a traditional camcorder from Sony, right? This is a NPF battery capable device. So if this thing was the same size sticking out as a Sony 970, I can see a lot of people try to V-mount this camera when it's designed, the circuitry here is designed for no more than 8.4 volts, and you're gonna be frying the camera. So you're gonna be having some inconveniences not to be able to hook up this thing on every single Sony plate over there. for that reason, because they don't want people to fry camcorders like this. And of course, it features a D-tap here on the side, and the same exact way you slide your micro V-mount battery, everything locks in place. And to remove, like I said, I like to use my thumb here to gently push it out so it doesn't fall. But even a battery this size, since it is the same V-mount thing, other than it's a little lower on the middle here, you can actually hook it up the same exact way. And as you can see, it holds just like the micro V-mount battery. So if you can actually transform a Sony NPF battery into a monster 200 watt-hour V-mount battery using this adapter as well. So pretty cool. You can use this one or this thing here. And this one here is the last accessory I have on my table. This features a clamp in the back which supports anything from 19 to 22 millimeters, whether it's a rod system. We have one of those Amazon basic stands, it's gonna fit just right, but don't expect it to fit like a normal light stand, heavy duty light stand, because those things are over an inch and a quarter thick. So what if this was designed on a figure 8? So you actually have option 2. When you open this up here, you can actually fit the skinny rod first, and then it continues here with a bigger one here. You can actually fit a single unit on the larger light stand. And by the way, the thread work they did here is very nice. It almost looks like one of those Matthew quality threads, because to open this up, one single tap, if you don't stop it, this thing's gonna fly out. And also to close it back, so you don't have to be doing this, right? So to remove this, just do this, thing opens, and then when you're ready, you just close down like this. And of course, it also features a D-tap on the side here, like any other accessory that I'll show you guys here. Not only can mount this micro V-mount battery, but also a full-size V-mount battery. The only one that you cannot do is this one here, because obviously the regular V-mount batteries, they're going to be too thick, and also some other micro V-mount batteries might limit how many you can put with the Watson with another brand. So I would say Watson with Watson, but most micro V-mount batteries, as long as they measure this particular size here, you'll be able to also mix and match with the they both should fit here okay. If it doesn't, it's because they're slightly wider, so it's not going to fit, but it should. So if this one here is too small for you, for example, if you have a large stand, that's not going to work, and then you order the other one that they make that has the same thing that you see here. But I already have this one, but for the full-size V-mount, so for me, I don't need to have the same exact thing when I already have this. But if you don't have this, you should order, you know, the ones that come with this type of hookup here. Going back to these accessories here, you're going to find at least one D-tap port present on them. This one here has 3, which you can also power 3 devices and everything. But of course, you know that you can actually charge these batteries either with or without this adapter, even if you want to charge the battery via the D-tap. The problem that I see with D-tap chargers is because they're rather cheap and the circuitry inside is not much to look at. So I don't really like to charge my V-mount batteries, especially these ultra high-tech ones here, the little tiny ones. So when I absolutely don't have any other ways to charge the V-mount batteries, I'm gonna bring the D-tap charger, which is a location outdoors that it is high humidity. So you know, when you have your V-mount chargers, the studio type, you don't want to be bringing this on location. I particularly don't like that. So anyway, I use the D-tap charger for that reason, but I try as much as possible not to do that. And this is when chargers like this come in. Watson also sent me this quad charger here. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's made of metal. I mean, I wouldn't mind at all if this thing was actually made of plastic, because it's easy to clean and everything. It's less prominent to scratch or whatever. But look at the finish on this thing. And this can accept 4 V-mount batteries. But the advantage of having a charger like this is because, first of all, you cannot compare the circuitry that's found inside these devices here with something as sophisticated as this, because look at the size of this thing. So it has all the electronics here to stabilize your battery. It's more like a gentle charge, even though it charges very fast. But again, you cannot compare something like this to this. It's obvious, right? Another huge reason why I would recommend you guys to spend money on a charger, the same way these things, they cost money, because 5 of these, that's $1,000, right? 5 of these is like probably close to $2,000. Anyway, so it makes sense like spending the money on something like this, because it's the same thing as if you're driving a sports car or a high-performance vehicle and you put regular gas on it instead of the premium gas. It doesn't really make sense, right? So don't go cheap on a charger, because these batteries can last you a long time, and especially for safety, that if I put 4 high amperage massive batteries in this charger here, I can actually go upstairs, sleep, knowing that this device is going to be okay, rather than charging these batteries using a D-tap $35, $38 charger, knowing that this thing can catch fire, because this thing gets super scary hot, and I don't like the idea unless I am standing side by side with this thing. The quad charger here for each channel is going to provide you a stable 2.5 amps of current to charge your batteries. On the bottom here it features a rubber feet so you don't scratch your furniture, and also this very handle is like a springy kind of a thing here, so it feels good when you pick it up. And also a separate circuitry between charging and supplying power. For example, the switch here is for charging only, and the other side provides you a 15-volt output from this 4-pin XLR here. I also make a time lapse to show you guys how long it will take to charge a battery like this on this charger here, including a massive battery like this. So I put both micro V-mount batteries on channel 1 and channel 2, and the other ones channel 3 and channel 4. But again, what this charger offers you here compared to the regular cheapo D-tap battery is stability and the right way to charge your V-mount battery or micro V-mount battery in a way that's gonna assure the longevity of these batteries for a long time. When you charge with something like this, it's rather dangerous. I don't like it because it gets hot, and the circuitry that's inside is just like, you know, a very simple thing. This one here is a more robust, and also for safety. Like again, I have no problem walking away and having 4 of these batteries on this charger. I would never do such thing with this D-tap chargers here. I'll be like watching like a hawk until this thing is done, either on Facebook or something, but I am not leaving the room charging my batteries on these things here. So these batteries here, they're designed for mobility, especially for handheld cameras and everything, but of course you can actually power big panels, especially when you want to do the dual micro V-mount batteries, in case your panel only fits one slot there. But I'm using the Generay Twin Sun, which accepts 2 V-mount batteries there. So I actually did a time lapse how long the light will discharge this battery here. So this battery here actually made a time lapse on purpose because I didn't charge the battery in full. I was playing with the battery a little bit, about 90% charge or something like that. So as far as I remember, this battery with about 85-90% charge, I could have at least 40 to 45 minutes until the battery dies. Never wait until you run to the last little bit of juice, because this tends to hurt the battery. As soon as it starts flashing, I don't care if it is this battery, a Sony NPF battery, this one here, stop immediately, because you don't need to have the whole thing to run out of juice, because it's never good for the battery. So if I did fully charge this battery to 100% and immediately take it off the charger and put it back on the Generay Twin Sun, which is a 200 watt panel, so 250 watt an hour battery is going to become a 100 watt hour battery, and the panel with the 200 watts running at 50%, which is what I did my time lapse, is going to be 100 watts against 100 watts. So this should last 1 hour easily. But keep in mind, again, this is designed for other means, but you can definitely power big lights, and this battery is not going to strain whatsoever. Even if you run at 100%, this light is not going to shut off on you, because these batteries can keep up with it. Yes, they can, but again, this is made for other ways to use. But again, you can power your lights or whatever you want with these batteries. But for lights, why would you torture these batteries when you can actually just use a big battery like this? Because the light is not going to go anywhere. You're not hand holding the light, so put massive V-mount batteries there. This is what they use for, and use this one here to power your rigs. Make sense? Now, if somehow this charger is too expensive for you, or if somehow you're definitely not going to have 4 batteries in the future, which I doubt, I would much prefer to buy this here. But if that's not the case, I actually have this other unit here which supports 2 V-mount batteries, including the mini one here, which you can actually charge it like this here. The same exact way. The other side, you can actually charge using this V-mount here, and also features a rubber thing on the back here, also this auxiliary feet, so when you have a disproportional weight here going on, so this is not going to be tipping over. So if you have two batteries of the same mass, and then you don't need the feet anymore. Now the difference between this charger and this charger, obviously this is a quad charger and this is a dual charger here, but particularly speaking on the DC output jack here, this particular jack here does something different that this one apparently does not, is the ability to run power from the two batteries regardless if you have it hooked up to the AC outlet. So as long as you have one or two V-mount batteries connected here, you're always going to have power outputting from here. Now the advantage of this, for example, if you have a light panel that accepts only one V-mount battery at a time on the back of the panel, you can actually use this to power using two massive V-mount batteries if you need the light to be running for a lot longer than it was originally meant to do. All you gotta do is put one massive or two massive V-mount batteries here, hook up the 4-pin cable here to your light. You're going to be powering this light for a long time rather than just the single V-mount battery on the back. So each charger has its differences and everything, but the same thing that they share the same is the sophisticated circuitry. This is why you're spending money on this charger. This is expensive, but it's not a lot of money considering that, you know, 5 of these, again, cost like $1,000, and a charger like this is like less than $300, and this is less than $400. So it all makes sense when you have high-tech batteries like this. Just treat it the right way and charge it nicely and smoothly instead of this way here, because I really don't like these detached chargers. By the way, if you like this type of chargers, and it's always good to have a detached charger, again, for emergencies, because I use them sometimes. I don't want to take this to a dirty environment or a high humidity place, because this is not the type of thing that I'm going to take a $400 charger in there. Now, since these batteries can handle up to 8 amps in current, if you are interested in calculating how many amps your lights or whatever it is they want to plan to use with this V-mount batteries has, I downloaded a very cool app here. It's called Watts Amps Volt Calculator. So once you install this, in my case I actually have installed here. So the wattage, for example, let's say my Lux Litaco is about 400 watts and it is 120 volts, and then you hit calculate here. So the Lux Litaco has 3.33 amps. So even a huge panel like that, these batteries are able to run the light at full power 100%, but I wouldn't do that just in case you really need to do this, and then you can actually do it. So something that takes up to 8 amps, that's a monster device, because even a 2x1 panel, most of those panels, they actually fall on a 3 or 4 amp. So you're plenty covered with that. So let's say they want to use a light such as the Generate Mini Moon, is only a 60-watt light. So again, 120 volts, and the light, I think it has 60 watts. And then you hit calculate, it's only half an amp, and this battery again can actually support up to 8 amp current. Now let's talk about casing here, just in case you want to transport your beautiful quad V-mount charger somewhere. It took me about 3 hours on the internet browsing all three: Amazon, B&H, and eBay, and the only bag that seems to fit this precisely as if you were custom made for this thing here is this newer bag, which also comes with a strap like this. It took me a long time to find this here. So what you're gonna do, this is the bottom of the bag here. You want to place the bottom of this charger exactly where the bottom of the bag is, and look how precisely this is fitting here. And on the top here you're gonna have this type of shape here, so you want to make this like a C shape, and also add in this here, and also velcro everything, which the velcro is going to prevent the cables from moving or ever reaching this charger during transport, so you don't scratch anything here. So you just put the power cable right here, and also this cable right there, like this. And then the cables, they are stuck here because of the velcro. So again, look how perfect this is. And then you just close it up, and you can actually hold it like this or carry it like that. Sony NPF batteries. Check out this EVA type of case here. Look how neat you can actually place your Sony NPF batteries. So whenever you need, they're here. Very easy to transport. I also put a little bit of a foam here so they don't move around. And this is extremely inexpensive and the awesome way to carry this battery, so they don't short anywhere, they don't get scratched or damaged. So if this falls, the whole shock is absorbed by this. Since I only have one of these smaller Watson V-mount batteries here, what I did, again, the foam, and it's very important that you put a gaffer tape here, because somehow you don't want these terminals to hit the foam here, because I'm a little scared of that. So it actually has the gaffer tape here and there. So all we have to do is push it in here, and then this battery doesn't move anywhere. So it looks like this here. And then this is a perfect fit for this battery. You close this up, good to go. Next, I have this type of case here, which has a dual opening to store this type of V-mount batteries right here. So it has a lid right there that you can actually separate the batteries. Or if you want to use the top here for a smaller V-mount battery, like a 100 watt hour, this will fit perfectly as well. It's not going to fit another one of these because this is rather tall. But you can actually put your D-tab here and this battery right there, and you can still close the bag. The other bag that I just showed you here with this dual zipper, sometimes you're gonna have a hard time on Amazon finding that bags, but you can also buy similar bags like this that only has like a single zipper. So what you have to do to store these batteries here, you just put them on the horizontal position. Also make sure you have a little foam here to prevent them from moving at all. So this is a very nice and tight fit. So what I did here is to house the two V-mount batteries plus the D-tap, and then you put this other piece of foam on top, and then you actually put the power cord on top like this here, so nothing scratches anything. I mean, it's a battery, but still I don't like to even scratch my batteries. And then you close the zipper here, and again, good to go. The same exact bag here you can also use to put away all your micro V-mount and its accessories here. This particular thing, I took it out of the original box, so you want to sandwich this thing together with the display facing inside. And then you want to have the same exact setup that I did here. So you put the battery this way here. Next, you want to put this one here right in the middle. And then your NPF battery goes right here, facing up. And then this box here, which contains all the cables, USB-C and whatnot. So let's pretend they're here. So you just put the box upwards like this. The clamp mount here goes this way here. And the belt clip goes that way. So nothing touches anything. So this is the actual setup that you have here. You can actually place everything isolated. The battery right here with a little foam in the middle. The clamp doesn't touch anything, that doesn't scratch anything. And as you can see, it's the perfect fit. And then you can actually take all this on a very nicely cushioned padded bag. So against shock and everything, nothing happens to your batteries or anything like that. And this is something that costs like less than $10. And lastly, to store these two massive V-mount batteries here, plus the dual V-mount charger and the power cords and everything. This bag also looks like it was precisely made by Watson, for example, to fit this whole thing here. So all you gotta do is place the charger here and place this battery right there and this one right here. The power cord goes here and also this thing here. So look at this. Is this perfection or what? And then again, close it up and then you can transport it like this. Plenty of cushion, and it looks pretty and very professional. Here's one interesting thing regarding V-mount batteries that you're probably never gonna hear from any other YouTube channel, because did you know a V-mount battery can actually save your life in case your car is stranded on the road and you have no cell phone reception, there's no one nearby to help you out. I have this plug adapter here for a long time, and then I cut the wire here, so I made an adapter to connect to batteries like this. Let's pretend this is your car battery, right? So you have your positive to negative here and your positive to negative here. So all you gotta do is to join these plugs here, and then you want to use your D-tap port of your V-mount battery to transfer all the juice that's in here to the car battery. You can also monitor how many volts is increasing on the battery by sticking this to your cigarette car adapter there. You can see when it's about 12.5, 12.7 volts, and then you want to unplug the V-mount battery out of your car, because under any circumstances I try to start your car from this battery, because you're gonna damage this battery severely. So what I meant was just transfer the juice over here and unplug the battery. And then, especially in cold conditions, due to the size of the battery compared to your car battery, which is this size, you probably only have one chance to crank that engine. Now, if you damage this battery here some reason, it's no big deal. At least this battery brought you home, and then you buy another battery, but I don't think that's gonna damage, unless of course you try to crank the engine with this battery. That's not what it's meant to do here. And then you can have this type of accessory here, plug in on the same terminal here, and then you can plug it directly to the battery, or you can actually use this one here, that if your car has the ability to have the cigarette adapter always on, you can actually plug on the D-tap battery here, and then you plug this into the cigarette lighter in your car, and the voltage is also going to be transferred to the battery. And then don't forget to unplug the battery before you attempt to start the engine. And that should conclude my review. Once again, it's very nice to see when people start to innovate and improve something that's already perfect, because V-mount battery is a problem solver for all our lighting needs, especially outdoors. And I also want to thank Watson for sending this awesome micro V-mount batteries and these super cool accessories here. It's going to be very extremely useful in my productions. Also, if you guys have any other questions regarding this micro V-mount batteries, you know what to do. Just drop a little comment here. I make sure I respond to everything that I see. And also, if lighting is your thing, batteries in general, this is the channel to subscribe to. And I want to thank you very much again for watching this video until the end here, and see you next time.